Yo, what is up, guys? We just got some of the best news. Well, I just got some of the best news. I don't know how many of you are going to be excited about this. Cloak and Dagger are going to be making a crossover with Runaways in the Runaways season 3 this coming December. Some of you may be asking, who is Cloak and Dagger? Who are the Runaways? Well, here's a little history lesson. Cloak and Dagger and Runaways are both teenage superhero Marvel Teen Titans Spider-Man properties, that type of stuff, okay? That's the basis of it. And both of these shows for the last 2 or so years have had separate TV shows on both Freeform and Hulu respectively. Okay? Runaways is on Hulu, Cloak and Dagger is on Freeform. Both of the shows have been phenomenal for the last 2 seasons. Runaways season 2 was epic. The first 2-3 episodes were just like pure action that replaced and made up for the hype that was built up in season 1, since there was little to no fights in season 1. It was great. And now we're getting season 3. It's coming back out, even though it took 2 years for the second season to come out. They're pushing out season 3 even faster this time, and I am so excited to see what's going to happen with this series. Cloak and Dagger. Cloak and Dagger is a series about Tandy Bowen and Tyrone Johnson. Both of them were in this accident when they were younger and coming into contact with each other now as teenagers. They've awakened these abilities that they acquired when they were kids in this accident. And basically, her name is Dagger. She's able to create these objects of light that are shaped in the form of blades and daggers and stuff like that. While Tyrone is named Cloak because of his signature cloak from the comic books, but he's actually able to basically teleport. That's essentially what he can do. As far as it is, they control like the elements of light and darkness, at least in the comic books. In the show, their abilities, both the heroes themselves and the villains in the show, usually surround around some sort of emotion, like the emotional spectrum for the Green Lanterns. Tandy is hope, while Tyrone is fear, and then they have different villains. Like they've had one for mayhem, for despair. I think there was some other dude that I have no idea what his power set is yet, and like there's sort of like this lore. I don't know how interesting that plot is. It's a little interesting to me personally. I'm not a big fan of it, but it is a little interesting because there seems to be a lot of the New Orleans voodoo culture history type of thing tied back into it and stuff with like that, and it's kind of like pointing towards this incident having happened or whatever, and Tandy and Tyrone being like demigods essentially, or reincarnated demigods. I don't know, or at least the personification, like the new versions of them, like how the mantle of the Robin is passed down from Dick Grayson to Jason to Tim to Damian to Kelly, depending on what universe you're in. Yeah, it seems like almost like a title passed down. Like there's since season 1, there's this thing about them being divine pairings or whatever. That there's always been at least 2 of them, and there's never been a time where both of them have been alive together. One has always had to die. There's always been some sort of catastrophic fight or something that happened, and then one of them has to die in order for that disaster to be averted. But this time they broke those rules by the 2 of them bonding together and basically saying we'll show them what a divine pairing really is, and both of them survive, of course. The series, I'm getting way off track. I love Cloak and Dagger. Cloak and Dagger is awesome. What is his name? Jeez, I cannot remember this guy's name. Olivia Holt and Aubrey Joseph. Amazing casting. I love them as the iconic duo. I talked about all of that like a year ago in another video with Runaways and Cloak and Dagger, because they're the only 2 teen Marvel TV shows out there right now. There's not a lot of Marvel TV shows to begin with, but they're the only 2 like teen centered based things with like 16, 17-year-olds trying to fight crime or whatever, besides Spider-Man. And it is so cool to see them together. It's so cool to see them because they did stuff straight up out of the comic books, and now they're going to be crossing over with the Runaways. Since I did a whole thing about Tandy and them, let's just go over the Runaways really quickly. The Runaways is basically like the idea of, what if your parents are really supervillains? What would you do? And these guys' parents legitimately are supervillains, at least in the comic books. They were way more supervillainish. Like some parents were aliens, others were witches. The two parents were like heads of the mafia. Some were time travelers, mad scientists. Like they had everything up in there. But they formed this group called the Pride, right? And the kids found out about the group, about the Pride, and that most of all, the Pride has for years now been kidnapping kids off the street and killing them, like straight up murdering them in like this sacrificial occult type of way, type of thing. So the kids got freaked out, of course, and ended up what is it, running away, hence the name. um in the show, however, at the same time of them sort of figuring this out, they're also try each one of them in their own way, with the exception of Alex, the only black kid on the show. Each one of them in their own way is coming into their superhero role. Nico, she is bonding and having a connection with the staff of one, which she thought was just a family heirloom on her mom's side of the family, but turns out it's actually a magical staff that only her mother's DNA can use. And since she is her mother's daughter, she can use the staff as well. She's even got a stronger bond to the staff than her mother has, as shown in season 2 or whatever is going on with the staff. I'll talk about that in a second. Um, then there's Molly. Molly had basically got exposed to radiation when she was younger due to some rock stuff. But what is it? She basically has super strength. That's all she has. She has like a super strength, and it takes a lot of stamina out of her to the point where she literally fell asleep on top of the hood of one of their cars because they were sitting there in traffic up against some dude, and she got out, used her powers, and lifted up this whole like SVU BMW type of thing, just like lifted it up over her head or whatever. And then after that, she took a nap, just like that. My type of girl. Um, I'm getting way off track. Just gonna spitball them out here. Then there's Gertrude. She has a telepathic dinosaur. Long story. There's Chase, her boyfriend. He is a mechanical genius. He created these gauntlets that basically fire. They're like military grade weaponry, and they fire out laser beams and stuff like that. And then lastly, there's Alex, the only kid who does not have abilities, but he's like extremely smart. He's always got like looking at everything like a chessboard or whatever. He's always got plans and stuff up his sleeve, and even when he doesn't, he's always trying to fix stuff up. And then above that, he's also a tech genius, so he's like super good with like hacking and getting into cell phones and all computer stuff, all that. Um, the show ended with essentially aliens have been destroyed in season 1. They weren't dead. They were actually had started possessing the bodies of some of the parents and some of the people, except for one person who's not accounted for, who's essentially supposed to be the most unhinged of all of the aliens that they tried to kill. And they don't know where he is. But the rest of the aliens are now going to try to rebuild their ship so they can leave Earth properly. But in the process, they're also going to be hunting down what's left of the Runaways. They've already done this. They've kidnapped Chase. They've kidnapped what is it? Carolina. I forgot to mention Carolina. I completely forgot. Carolina is the last member of the Runaways. Carolina is an actual alien. That's where this whole alien stuff comes in. She's half human, half alien. She glows like a disco ball. She can produce solar energy and stuff like that. She can fly. So this is basically all of her family, essentially. Her alien family kidnapped her, what is it? Chase's mom and Chase himself, and they're going to try to use them as like a battery source, essentially, because they need human life forces to generate into fuel, I guess, or whatever, to keep them alive. They essentially eat. They essentially are like vampires or whatever. Like they need human life to be able to stay alive. This video's getting way too long. So the series ended with them kidnapped. Gertrude's mother was possessed by one of the aliens, so her father, in a last-ditch effort, being deadly afraid of his wife, took the telepathic dinosaur and his his daughter Gertrude, and completely left LA without his adopted daughter Molly, leaving his half alien, half insane wife behind. All of that. That was the whole thing. And then the only people that are left now are Nico, Alex, and Molly, along with Carolina's mama and a shapeshifter. Don't even me started with the shape shifting stuff. That was a weird stupid plot that didn't really make any sense to me. But the three of them are left, and now they have to try to get the squad back together. New stuff has been... I did not know that they were going to be dropping new information for Runaways. I was not expecting that until at least September, but they dropped a promo with them trying to sacrifice Gertrude in the box. Chase was out of the box somehow. Molly was hurt. The dinosaur was hurt. Chase got his gloves back on that he gave to Alex for some reason. It was all over the freaking place. And then today, they released an interview with the whole cast. Look, they just sit on the steps of like one of the set pieces for like the hostel, the rundown hotel mansion that's sunk into the ground that they live in and everything, because they're runaways and outlaws and all that. Trying to be edgy and cool. So they were sitting there talking about the show, and they were like, "We're so excited. We were really working hard to do that, and we needed some help to finish up the series." And I'm like, "Some help? Like, are they gonna add in like Victor Monches? He was a member of the team at one point in time. They've added in like Red Rose, another member of the team at one point. What are they talking about here? Nope. Cloak and Dagger panned out, and there it is. Cloak and Dagger are sitting there right beside them. There's a crossover episode coming some point in season 3. Cloak and Dagger will be in Runaways season 3. Now that I've given you the full explanation, I'm probably going to cut these into 2-part videos. Go watch part 2, where I'm going to talk about... Oh, Lord. Here comes Dad. Where I talk about what this could mean for the TV show, how I think this is going to play out, and what this was going to mean for the larger MCU as a whole.